How's it going, everybody? We've been doing some cleaning. We don't show this area a whole lot because it was a mess. You might still call it a mess. Our cistern for a lot of our places here is right here, 6,000 gallons down on the ground there. Actually, it's 8,000 gallons. And so we can't drive much on that because it's not very strong. We wish we would have put it somewhere else. With that said, we just piled stuff here. We finally cleaned most of it all out, moved some concrete slabs in place so that way we can get around when it gets wet and muddy and whatnot. And while we've been doing all that, it's been getting warm. And it's getting close to pea harvesting time. Peas are starting to change, and we're thinking we need to get ready. So we got a couple things ahead of us. We got to pull the combines out, get Beastbite and Clifford out. We got an idea of what needs done to them, but we're gonna do a thorough look through. We're gonna change also all the fluids, all the filters, as well as a number of parts on them, which since we've had them, we haven't done any of that. They were done when we bought them, and we got about enough hours on them. We might as well just do a full flush and cleaning. And since we're gonna be turning a bunch of wrenches, we decided it's probably a good time to upgrade some tools too. So we've got a little bit of stuff ahead of us, but we gotta get to that first before we start doing a lot of this. So let's go to the shop, take care of the tools, then we'll come back here and then get these out, get to work. I'm sure many are wondering what is in the big boxes. What could possibly be in the big boxes when you've got all of these? Lots of these. Well, a nice upgrade. That whole lineup right there. Let's open them up. Right, we got her assembled, but now we gotta figure out where we're gonna put everything. The idea is to consolidate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 toolboxes over here, or at least as much of them as possible, and put them into that one that we can wheel around the shop. That's the ultimate goal. Some of these have been in the shop since I was a little kid, and they work, but they're kind of a mess. So we would like to consolidate and organize a little better, because you guys know how much shop work we do. So we're gonna ponder and think about what drawer should have what tool. I demo sawed off all the little round stock that I welded on a couple years back. And the reason I'm trying to save these is we don't have enough in the stock in the shop right now, and to go get some would be like a 3-hour drive and a bunch of gas. So I'm trying to reuse as much as I can. We'll see how it works, but I got it marked off. One side's metric, one side standard. He'll start at 7mm and he'll start at 5/16, or no, quarter. And then go all the way up to 7/8 on one side and 20mm on the other side for 3/8 drive sockets. So hopefully this works. I made a little jig here too, so that way I'll put the little bar stock in there, put this down level, and then I'll have a spot where I can weld and keep every spike sticking perfectly straight up and down to make it look as nice as I can for you guys. And leg arms are dead. right, here's how we're sitting. So we didn't get everything in the toolbox. We need 2 of those, but we'll save that for another day. We did consolidate most everything. As you can see, we've got some makeshift labels on here. Don't worry, we're gonna get better labels, but for the time being, that gives us kind of an idea. So when we're working, we still know where to look. So as you can see, Dad fabbed up, well, I started, he finished, fabbed up a nice socket holder here with these little steel rod dowels, as well as all of our measurements for metric, for standard. So we've got some, now we can get an idea of what kind of sockets we need to add and stock up on, because we've got a couple short missing here. All of our 1/2-inch drives, as you can see up here. So here's all our 3/8, very similar situation as you can see. That's nice. Screwdrivers, all kinds of goodies. And so it's just kind of a mix and match of figuring out what do we want where and what. After, you know, 30, 40 years of having tools in this very similar spot, it's kind of in our minds to grab those spots where the tools were. So we put the hammers down low, we put the wrenches up above. We're trying to just keep that. And then we consolidated and took out 3 toolboxes that we had, narrowed it down to these 3, and this one's barely full, and we're gonna still organize and consolidate. And eventually, if we're sitting okay, maybe we'll upgrade to another set of a toolbox like this and have 2 of these. That would be our ultimate goal. We're getting there. Then on the wall here, put all of our ratchet wrenches on here. So we got metric on one side, standard on the other. So that's nice, easy to grab. So things are moving right along. Pretty cool. You can see we already got Big Brute and the 650 Big Butt out of here. We got some spray we gotta use, so we took them out. The 600/50 is possibly gonna go on an adventure. We'll talk more about that soon, but we had to do a little bit of work to him, so we took it, got it out. We think we found the reason it was eating coolant. It might not be the engine was burning it. There's 2 big leaks in the radiator that just all of a sudden are dumping coolant all over the ground. We didn't see coolant on the ground previously this spring when it was getting low on coolant, so I don't know, but why that would just all of a sudden appear like that and be that much makes me think it was there all along, we just didn't catch it. So we're working on getting a radiator for that thing. We're just gonna drain all the coolant out of it, put just water in it for the time being, and that way we'll use it during the hot months when winter's not here and use it as we need it. Leak a little water out, not a big deal, dump some in there, water's fine to run for a couple months, and then we'll switch back to a mix of coolant when we get the radiator fixed. But it's time for some B-spine. First start since last fall. Good. Batteries are good. Makes us so happy. Sweet machines. It's hard to think that combines are getting bigger than that. It just seems like a giant combine. Just huge. And there's 2 classes above that now. Unreal. So what we're gonna do, he's pulling B-spine in front of the shop here. We've got one of the headers in the shop. We took it in there just to kind of look at it, see what maybe needs replaced, done, but the problem is the reel is down on it, and we didn't have the hydraulics or a combine to lift the reel up to take apart the draper and all that good stuff. So, combine's here. We'll open the door, pull the header out, hook onto the feeder house. The hydraulics will hook up, we'll raise the reel up, we'll pin it, unhook the combine, run the header back into the shop, and then start turning wrenches on it. Right here. Leaking coolant. I put 7 gallons in it yesterday. and I see it's just seeping it out. And then this side here is all wet. So this radiator is original. It's 40 some years old, 50 some years old. It's we've had it repaired, we've had it taken to radiator shops, and they go through it and they fix the leaks, but eventually all that shaking and vibration can eventually make a radiator basically worn out. So we probably need a new radiator. But, you know, after a while, you replace piece after piece after piece. Eventually, it's a new tractor. All right, let's grab the Can-Am Defender. One of them, whichever one seems like the right one. Let's see which one has a hitch on it. That one does. All right, we're taking the Max. So the Defender Max, got a hitch on it. I'm gonna hook onto that header, and that way I'll use this to back it out the door. This thing works best to do that.
About a foot, 6 inches, 2 inches. Okay, just stop. Come off the brake.
This is Clifford, you guys remember. Scott, you could probably back up. It'll clear that, but it probably needs to swing forward just a little bit. Okay. I might have touched the exhaust with a butt, but it's great. We're good. We're good. Future leg arms and Hollywood home right here. There's our gnarly creation. Yep. It'll see another pea cleaning day. It will. Maybe this fall. We'll see how it goes. Got taken off on its way back from Illinois when it was at the Farm Progress Show last year. And so I'm gonna put her back on. By the way, magnets love paint. Oh, they love paint. It'll destroy paint. So I'm sorry for whoever gets this combine someday. We've scarred it. I'll get some rattle can for you. Now, best part about big toolbox, big packaging boxes. And best part about big packaging boxes, can you guys see what I'm getting at yet? All right, we'll keep going. Are you guys ready? What's in here? I've been petting it all night. I had to feed it too.
No.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sure? Okay, come in.
Where is it? On the bed. Oh, Oh, there's the door. No, that's the window. What is the door? Here's the door.
That's the garage door. That's where the cars go in. Where's the front door? Lukey found the front door.
There's the front door. That's the garage.
Hey, you can't stick your head through the roof. It is that time where Big Brute needs its oil change. If you guys haven't tried this, take a chemical shuttle, cut it down, and you got a big massive oil drain pan, which is awesome because these motors require a lot of oil. And 5-gallon buckets and switching them out can be messy and a pain. Once you drain the oil into those big huge pans that we cut down, use your skid steer or something with forks, bring it over, dump it in another shuttle. It's awesome. Highly recommend it. It is very crucial that you put good oil in your machines. This oil here, if you think about it, is like insurance, okay? If you put cheap stuff in your machines, well, the cheap stuff doesn't have the lubricating factors, does not have the additives that will protect your metals from wearing on each other. And what happens is if you don't have that good lubricating factors, then you're gonna basically wear parts out, and then you'll have engine failure or hydraulic failure or gear pump failure. And then you have to replace parts. Well, then you have to try to locate parts, which is a problem. And then they get expensive and it gets very, very costly. So if we can minimize breaking stuff, it's crucial to get good quality oils. So that being said, I'm going to take a 55-gallon drum here, put it in this Hitran tank here, which is actually 90 gallons, so I can't overfill it. Our engine oil over here, 1540, is a little bit low, so I'm going to try to transfer as much as I can into here and then take that and transfer it in Big Brute, because Big Brute needs its oil change, obviously. So anyways, let's go change some oil because I think it's about ready and it's warmed up. It's been idling for a while, and let's make it happen. I'm back. Let's get some work done to this header. Let's pull these canvases off, drapers, and find out what's underneath. Could be some interesting stuff. And a bunch of bearings I need replaced, which isn't so interesting, but we gotta do it. Let's get down to it. Leg arm's already changed the bearing there, and we're now about to pull this one apart so he can change the bearing on this too. He's got a slick way to do it. We got a puller, and it works awesome. So we'll change all those bearings out and put the canvas back on, the draper. I keep calling it the canvas. And then I think overall we're done inside here. And then a lot of this action. People are gonna see my nails. Daughters. Enough said. Isn't that thing sweet? Never had one of those until today.
Slide hammer, you know, all these years,
For bearings.
we should have bought one years ago. We just never did. And I love it.
After the headers took a beating with rocks. Yeah.
Grab another hammer, come over here real quick.
Big hammer?
Yeah.
Okay. And that center feed auger got beat up pretty bad. So he's heating it up with the torch, and we're just kind of tapping on it with some hammers, see if we can tap the dents out. And then he's gonna fix a bunch of the fingers that are inside there. All right, well, we just had a thunderstorm roll over just the south of us. Just missed us barely, but dropped a couple hundredths of moisture on the ground. Got another one kind of forming over here growing, so we'll see if this interrupts the combine progress. So I got Beastbine and Clifford parked out front, and I'm gonna start the process of dropping pretty much every fluid in these things. Gonna go through it all. It's gonna be expensive, it's gonna be good, and these things need it. So we're doing planetaries, we're doing transmission, we're doing rotor transmission, we're doing engine, hydraulic, all that good stuff, gearboxes on all of it. So it's gonna be a fun process, probably gonna take me a while. I ran this thing for a little bit, it's warmed up. I'm gonna bring the pan underneath, drop the engine oil, get that changed first. Then I'll switch over to Clifford and do the same, and I'm just gonna work back and forth between the two and just kind of piggyback and hopefully get this all done. So we got all our oils, we got all our filters. Let's make this happen. All right, let's warm up Clifford. Get the oil warmed up, and I'll drop it on that as soon as the other one's done. Ready? Yep. There it goes. Now it's going. Doesn't look too bad. All right, there goes the transmit or the hydraulic oil, and I gotta go. He's lifting barrels again. Show off. I gotta go get another barrel because we only got enough to fill one combine. So we'll let these all drain. A lot of draining. It's nice how they got this all plumbed together. The gearbox for all the hydraulic pumps is plumbed to the same drain line too, which is pretty nice. So I think the transmission for the rotor might be a little harder to do, but I haven't done one before, so we'll find out if that's nice too. Found out we were missing a couple filters, so Langarm's taking off my pickup. He's gonna go to the dealer and get a couple more, as well as another barrel of oil because we don't have enough. I'm gonna switch over and put oil in Clifford, the engine oil, and we're gonna hold off putting transmission oil into any of these yet until we get the rest of the filters because we gotta finish taking them off. Then I'm gonna do fuel filters and then start all the air cleaners. It is amazing how many filters these things have on them. But what's amazing is how few belts and chains these things have. That's the thing. They've substituted chains and belts to gearboxes and hydrostatic or hydraulic pumps and plumbing. So it's simplified but complex to the situation. In other words, it's way nicer to run, way less things moving and turning, but big oil changes when you got to do them. It's been running great though. I got a lot of these combines out there and they keep going. Good stuff. There, okay. PTO gearbox is full, rotor, transmission is full, and the hydraulic reservoir is full. And we are getting down to hydraulic fluid, so we need some more hydrant, but like I've just got a barrel, so we're good. So now, Clifford, get her done. All right. Oh, okay. Let's do take two on that. The drawers. These are just temporary little painters. Okay, take two on that. Standard. All of our ratchet wrenches, extensions. Yeah, ratchet wrenches. All right, I'm back. Let's get some work with this header.